Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're having a problem from Codewars, a coding challenge, and we're going to solve this time one that's it's a little bit harder, but it's still on the easy side. It's a 6KU one. It's called simple frequency sort, and they say in this kata you will sort elements in an array by decreasing frequency of elements. So by how many times that element appears in the array, how many times it repeats. Now they say if two elements have the same frequency, sort them by increasing value. So first we need to sort them by frequency, from the highest frequency to the lowest. But if they have the same frequency, like one appears 3 times and another one appears 3 times, then you want to sort those two groups in such a way that the group that has lower value, the numbers that have lower value in that group needs to be before the ones that has a higher value, right? So say more example in test cases. So what I'll do, I will copy this function, starting function from here to here, and what we're going to do for this one, we're basically going to make an object, and for each element in the array, for each number, we're going to basically find the frequency in the array for that number. We're going to go through all the array and find how many times each element repeats in the array. So let's create an object called const frequency equals, and we start with an empty object. And what we want to do is we're going to say r, and we're going to use for each, the method for each. And if you don't know the method for each, I do have a video about it. I think I have a video from what I remember. So I think I do have it, so I will link it here if you don't know how to use it, because we're not gonna explain it in detail here. And we're gonna say for each element in the array, we want to say, so for each element we want to say that frequency. So basically we're gonna take the object and we're gonna say frequency of elements equal frequency of element plus 1, and we're going to use some parentheses here, and we're going to say or 1. And let me explain what I'm doing here. What I'm saying is for each element we're going to say that if we're going to say frequency of elements equal frequency of element plus 1 or 1. And what does that mean? It means that if the expression here, that frequency of element of the current element will take frequency of element plus 1 if frequency of element exists, because if frequency of element exists, then frequency of element plus 1 is going to be a truthy value. So it's frequency of element is gonna take this value because it's a truthy value. But if frequency of element doesn't exist yet because it wasn't added yet, there was no element before that was equal to the current element, then this is going to be undefined. So when we're trying to add 1 to undefined, then this expression is going to give you not a number, because undefined plus 1 is not a number, right? This is not a number. So not a number is a falsy value. So because not a number is a falsy value, what's going to happen is going to say falsy value or, and because this is a falsy value, it's going to return this one. So what's actually happening here is frequency of element is basically getting increased by 1 if it already exists. So if we already had one element in there, and then frequency of element has gotten the value of 1, then the value of frequency of element is going to increase by 1. But if this doesn't exist yet, then we're just giving it 1 because it's the first time when we're finding it in the object, right? So now what we want to say is we have an object that has as properties all the elements of the array just once as a property, and then the value of that property is basically the frequency in the array. So what we want to return is we're going to say return, and what we're going to do is we're going to spread this array into another array. And why we're doing that is because I'm going to do and this is the spread operator. What it does basically, if you use it on an array, is going to spread those elements, and we're spreading it in another array. And why we're doing that is because we're going to use sort on this array, and I don't want to use sort on the original array because sort mutates the original array, and this wouldn't be a clean function if it actually affects things outside of the function, right? So what we want to say is we're going to spread it, and so basically we have an array here that has the same elements as array, and we want to say sort. We're going to use the sort method, and if you don't know how to use sort, just look up a video or find some documentation, and you can easily understand what's happening if you don't understand what's happening here. And what we're going to say is we're going to say A or B, and we want to sort by the frequency of the element, by the frequency of the element. So what we're going to say is we're going to say frequency we're going to say frequency of A, but it's not like that. We're going to say frequency of B minus frequency of A, because what's happening here, we are sorting the array by like descending by frequency. We're just using the frequency that we have here, and because we're saying frequency of B minus frequency of A, then the array is going to be sorted like descending based by the frequency of the element which they are taken in here. Now remember, they said they want to, if the elements have the same frequency, then they want to be sorted by the value. So what we want to say here, we're going to say, because what we're going to say is because these two, if they're equal, so it's the same frequency, then the value here is going to be 0. So if they have the same frequency and the value here is 0, we can say that we want to return in this function 0, or we want to return this, or A minus B. And what does that mean is if the difference here is 0, then basically it's not going to return this because we're using an OR. So because this is a false value, it's going to return this one. And what we're doing, we're basically saying sort by frequency descending if this difference is not 0, if they're not equal. But if this is 0, then basically sort ascending by the value, right? Because we're doing here A minus B, while here we're saying frequency of B minus A. So here we're sorting descending by frequency, and here we're sorting ascending by value, right? So yeah, I hope you understand. I know I over explained a bit, but it's only because you have to understand how all this works, right? So let's copy this and try it out and see if we did it right. And it seems it's passing, and it's passing all the tests. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one. It introduced quite a few nice concepts, especially if you are newer to JavaScript. So yeah, if you enjoyed this one, if you did learn something, if you got confused, give me a comment in the comment section, and I will try to respond to any questions. I keep an eye on my channel, so I will comment back. So yeah, if you enjoyed this one, please give a like, subscribe. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. I'm trying to grow the channel now more and more. I'm posting like 3 or more videos every week. So if you like this type of content, subscribe, and also you can click the notification icon, and it's going to show you all the videos that I post. Alright, see you next time. Bye bye for now.